And I feel like I've identified 5 guys who I think have the skill sets and have the possibility to put up the numbers to become a household name, but maybe that need a little push to start the wagon rolling, start the train rolling down the tracks. Right. So I want to give that train that push. Okay, I want to start 6A, a guy who's got big shoes to fill. Cal Vincent was sensational as quarterback at San Angelo Central.
Brennan Wooten was pretty good before him.
Brennan Wooten was pretty good then. The new guy, Maverick McIver, first of all, fantastic football name.
Unreal.
Like that's like you talk about a Heisman guy. Like I feel like Tim Tebow got his Heisman in a lot of respects because his name is easy to remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but like if your last name is Chukwukelu, you've got a steeper climb.
That's fair.
Maverick McIver, great name. Maverick McIver is an interesting case. He is a transfer from Fort Davis, where he played 6-man football. I believe he's only in his third. He's going to be a junior this year. He's only in his 3rd year playing 11-man football, so he's still getting the grip of it. But 1, he's at a program where they develop good quarterbacks. 2, he's going to have the opportunity to put up some big numbers. 3, he's in an area where quarterbacks are a little few and far between out there in West Texas in the Concho Valley.
A few more miles between them.
Exactly. And 4, from everything we've heard, he has the skills. From everything we've heard, it's just a matter of gaining that understanding of the game and the nuance that kind of comes with experience. So Maverick McIver at San Angelo Central is a guy that I have my eye on as maybe being a household name by the end of the year. A guy you may have heard of already, but I think is only going to get bigger specifically because he's only going to be a junior this year. Jalen Catalon, okay? The defensive back at Mansfield Legacy. You can probably count on one hand how many sophomores have ever been named All-State Defensive Player of the Year. Well, you can add Catalon to that list. He was the AP and TSWA All-State 5A Defensive Player of the Year, and it's easy to see why. 193 tackles and 9 interceptions, an insane sophomore season. And he did it for a team that I feel like people have a little Mansfield fatigue right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, Mansfield, they had that great running back Candy Brooks, and then they had Jet Duffy before him, and oh, man, there's always someone from Mansfield. I feel like people have a little bit of Mansfield fatigue. But Jalen Catalon may, in fact, be the best of the bunch.
Maybe.
This kid is awesome, and he's only going to be a junior this year. He's a name to kind of keep in the back of your mind, not just for this year, but also for 2018. Down in the 4A ranks, the tight end is dying. I know it. We all know that the tight end is being phased out, or at least it is evolving, right?
It's evolving. I was going to say, they're starting to make a comeback with certain offenses.
It's becoming more of a big receiver as opposed to a kind
Which
of
is probably what it was always going to be
offensive
anyway.
lineman / receiver.
Offensive lineman with good hands.
Out there in Pampa, the Harvesters have a heck of a tight end named Daryl Fields. He's going to be a senior this year. Last year, he's 6'4", 230, beefy kid. And boy, he's got skills. 91 catches, 1,078 yards, and 10 touchdowns. He might have been, I would need to go look this up. There's a fair chance that he was the only tight end in the state to top the 1,000-yard mark last year, right? Because how often are tight ends your number one target?
Right.
Well, Daryl Fields is decidedly a tight end. He's not like a Rob Gronkowski who's just kind of a big slot. He is a blocker as well, but he's also their number one threat in the Harvesters offense. Keep an eye. Remember the name of Pampa tight end Daryl Fields. Let's go east. 3A. Jefferson wide receiver TQ Jackson. Jefferson had a weird kind of over-the-top year last year where they had a huge offense, kind of gave up their fair number of points defensively, but they had a huge offense especially. And one of the big reasons why was this wide receiver TQ Jackson. TQ Jackson had 41 catches. 41 catches, you'd be like, okay, well, that's nice. 41 catches. There's a lot of guys who have 41 catches. 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns. 41 catches, that's a deep threat if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
That's a dude who averages big yards per catch. 6'2", 175 pounds. They list him at a 4.4 40. Every time I read a 4.4 40, I'm always a little bit skeptical. I'd like to see it. But at the same time, everything we've heard from East Texas, everything we've heard from Jefferson, says that this TQ Jackson, the wide receiver at Jefferson, is the real deal. He could be a household name this year. And then the small school ranks in 2A. Petrolia's got a wide receiver named Jake Edgemon. Okay? I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Edgemon. Edgemon. A senior this year. Last year, he was out of control. And I know that Petrolia is not this program that everybody's heard of, that wins a ton of titles. That it's not Katy, right? DeAndre Glass's Katy was always going to be a household name because he's the Katy running back.
Right.
You don't hear that about Petrolia.
Right.
This kid's incredible. 76 catches, 1,400 yards, and 17 touchdowns last year. Huge numbers. Could be in for an even bigger year for the Pirates this year of Petrolia. Keep an eye on that. So, those are my 5 names to know. Guys who I think could be household names by the end of the year. Maverick McIver, the quarterback at San Angelo Central. Jalen Catalon, the defensive back at Mansfield Legacy. Daryl Fields, the Pampa tight end. TQ Jackson, the wide receiver at Jefferson. And Jake Edgemon at Petrolia. Who do you think has a chance to be a household name in Texas high school football in 2017? Let me know. #DCTF Live.